Getting ready for the junior women's race. First round of the year. A lot of nerves up there.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so we had a really, it feels odd to say this, warm week here in Fort William in the Highlands of Scotland in the build-up to this one. Then yesterday, during qualies and semis, a lot of rain. And as you can see, top of the track, looking pretty misty up there at the minute, 11 degrees Celsius. Wind 11 kilometres an hour. Let's check out this incredible track. So, Annick set to host its 19th ever international race, and it's flat out from the start from that new look start hut. Track belts across really, really exposed ground before it hits the tree line, where things get a bit more technical. Still maintaining incredibly high speeds. The Whoop, big down, huge drop there. Into split 3 then. Then there's the Hazard Hoofer. The new gap jump is after that. Split 4, Shimano Motorway. And then the event, Scotland Wall. So really, really, really long and really, really tough is the story of Fort William as ever. Miriam, tracks don't get much more serious than Fort William, do they?
Yeah, I mean, like, this track is really legendary.
It's made some history over the years. Junior women are at the top doing their best to warm up. Not much heat around up there. We've got some traditional Scottish music down at the finish.
It was super misty and cloudy this morning. It looks to be a tiny bit better.
Yeah, it really sort of came in yesterday afternoon and it got very sort of grey, overcast. Not lots and lots of rain like we've seen here in the past, but certainly enough to make things a bit glassy.
Yeah, I know. Riders love rain in Fort William because it's even more grip.
Right, well, we are about to check out. There's a new look grandstand at the redesigned finish area. Here's our start list for the junior women. First UCI Downhill World Cup of the year for them. Emilia Dudek from Poland will get us underway. Then it's Cushman, Abeck, Bonor, Mills, Melton, Ernest, Hulsebosch, Wilson and Van Leuven. What a final 3 that is, Miriam, there.
Yeah, that's crazy. The level in the women junior field is just getting bigger and bigger. That's so good to watch. Junior men's as well. We've got a lot of first season UCI World Cup downhill riders, but it feels like we're on a bit of a generational shift this season. That's for sure. Yeah, a lot of bright young things out there looking to make a name for themselves, and what a stage to do it on. Fort William, it's kind of up there with Mont Saint Anne in Canada in terms of, I suppose, Val di Sole in Italy as well. A win here kind of counts for that little bit extra, doesn't it? Miriam's nodding profusely. Look at them, they're so focused. First year junior, first World Cup, it must be really intense, you know? What would be your advice for them? What should they be focusing on today? To just play and stay a kid, like forever. Stay a kid and have fun on your bike, and that's the key. Well, getting revved up here. Crowd was really, really big for qualifying and semi-finals yesterday, and they're queuing at the door to get in as we speak. Some of them have been here longer than others. Was that man just drinking custard? If he was, that is incredible. Yep, fans of all generations. Fort William, it's a bit of a pilgrimage up to the Highlands, the West Coast. A lot of people on track already. And there's that new start ramp. And we are going to see Emilia Dudek get us underway very, very shortly. She's just getting into the gate now. So, big new start ramp, Miriam. Does it send you into those first corners a bit faster than previously? Yes, definitely. Like we used to have a big sprint at the start, and we don't have this anymore, and we carry more speed into the first berm, so that's pretty good. All the riders were really happy with this change. Here we go, Emilia Dudek then. Timing is set. The 2024 UCI Downhill World Cup season is about to begin. Just closes her eyes, visualises the run ahead. It's a lonely place, that, Miriam. The best place ever. The nerves are high, but you're feeling in such a good place in the same time. Dudek warming the legs through. Stands up, waits for the beeps.
And we are off and racing in 2024. The first UCI Downhill World Cup of the season gets underway with Emilia Dudek from Poland off into the clouds of Anik Moore, and visibility super low looking, Miriam.
Yeah, I was wrong. It looks like really hard to see.
It's a funny track, isn't it? It can be hard to see at the best of times because of the very bright surface. It's quite hard to make out all the holes and rocks.
Yeah. But you can see it's already better, so maybe it's just really on the top.
Just as you said that, she rode into an even bigger ball of clouds.
But so the junior were complaining this morning after first runs, and I was like, well, this is where you learn the track by heart. And they were like, yeah, but, it's kind of hard still.
So for people tuning in the downhill for the first time, the visualization side of things, the working with the GoPro cameras, learning the track as much as you can, does that help when the visibility is as low as this?
Yes, definitely. To know the track really well, to know exactly where you put your wheel, between which rock and which roots, it's so important. And nowadays, with also GoPro, it's so important, and all the riders do this job a lot.
So, Dudek through split one then. 1 minute, just over. She won an IXS Cup in Verbier earlier on this year. Nice track in Verbier.
Super cool. And she's from Poland, where we have a World Cup in Cuba.
Yeah, we are going in a couple of weeks' time to Bielsko-Biała. First ever time that venue's hosted a UCI World Cup.
There she is.
All gravity there, downhill and EDR, as we get our first glimpse of Emilia Dudek for the first time in a while. The young Pole.
Yeah, vision must be really hard.
Is it difficult to keep calm when the vision's this bad as well, just to stay sort of focused and not panic?
Yeah, and you have to get things ready before you run. There is nowadays some stuff to do with the goggles, and especially for the mist, you have some spray, so you better have to be ready. And when you're a junior, it's a bit tricky. You kind of forget these things. You'll be like, it will be all right.
No casting aspersions, but not all juniors jump straight out of bed early in the morning to do these sort of things. But here, these new look turns really help you carry speed off that top section. So it looks like the mist and fog really is sort of stuck on the top bit of the track.
Yeah, and this is kind of the middle or the end of the second split, so it would be good if we can finish a track with a good vision.
Yeah, that would be definitely preferable. We're sat just opposite the finish arena down here at the bottom of the track, and it's a clear day down here as far as I can see, so hopefully the vision will get better for these riders as they head down. But we're still waiting for Dudek to come into shot. I walked the track during practice the other day, and the speed Loic Bruni carried through this right-hander that Emilia Dudek is just hitting now is absolutely sensational. These turns really set you up for this section, don't they?
Yeah, and the left after is really flat, so it's really important to keep your speed.
Well, we are back with Emilia Dudek then. We have found her amidst the fog off the top section. Really inclement weather up top, makes that gap jump.
Then she enters into the wood section.
Yeah, the woods, famous in Fort William history, really, aren't they? There's always something special in this woods. What do you make of this new look section? You can see riders have lines option to the left and right. Dudek going up high to the left.
There is really many different options in this wood, which is good. You can take high line or low. Then in the middle, you can change again. There is so many mix possible.
Yeah, we saw Charlie Hatton really accelerate in the elite men's race in UCI World Championships here last season in this wood section. The weather has been kind to us, as I say, this week, so it's maybe not as horrific as we've seen in the past, the wood section, but there's still, it's one of the few areas of the track where there's line choices to be made, and you've got to make some decisions in there.
Yeah, making choice was a tough one.
Yeah.
Like so many tough times.
Dudek through into the bottom half of this track that's really been cleaned up a lot, hasn't it? Here's the hazard hoofer, the little river gap, and then there's a new gap further on down, which is bigger again, but takes a lot of that wall ride.
It's not going through the river gap.
No, the river gap just to the left-hand side. You can see just the bottom of your shot there. So hangs right, Dudek.
Not.
It's a big gap, that second one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like, it's so many times. You have to carry some good speed before, and the track being gnarlier than gnarly. So
Yeah, the takeoff about the same height as the landing, isn't it? There's not much of a drop on it as we head into these new shape jumps for the first time. They've had a lot of work since that UCI World Championships Glasgow race last year. Dudek clearing them with some ease, though.
I saw a lot of people cating the third one this morning. So she's into the landing, which is super good.
And here she comes in, Amelia Dudek, about to get a big reception as she heads towards the finish line. She will be the first rider to complete a race run in the UCI Downhill World Cup 2024. Amelia Dudek over the line with a 5 minutes 33. Seems happy with that one. Getting ready for that big race in 2 weeks' time as we head back to the top then, and it's Gail Cushman from the Gravity Collective. We get another look at just how low the visibility is at the top of the track. It looks fairly dry though, Miriam.
Yeah, I mean, like, the grip is even better now, and the bottom section I went to check this morning and it's still rolling pretty good, so no problem at all with this. It's just even better.
Well, Cushman is setting about the time of Dudek here, 6.7 seconds now at split 4 for Cushman.
More than 5 minute race is a tough one for the girls.
It's a long track, isn't it? I think that's important to stress, that if you're tuning in for the first time, Fort William, absolutely savage as Gail Cushman comes across the line then. She did lose some time on Dudek towards the bottom, so maybe just hung up a jump somewhere. But into the hot seat for the time being. And I guarantee you it'll be hotter than any seats up there at the top of the track. Nelly Abeck then, for Norway, leaves the start hut. Won a Spanish Cup in Ottawa early in the season, so a lot of these juniors, Miriam, they've been on the road already this year. She's all green so far, looking good for the Norwegian.
And it's tight timing already.
Yeah.
She lost a bit of time on the last splits.
Yeah, back 3.4 seconds, so Abeck, a mistake somewhere off camera, but it was looking good before that. Noses the bike into this famous run-in towards the finish line. Over. Final jump. Down into the finish arena. Nelly Abeck then crosses the line. Oh, 0.7 seconds.
So good to see some new generation coming, and from Norway again, like Mille, back in the days. And then this is Laïs from France.
Laïs Bonheur, European champion. You can see that mist moving across, and maybe a bit of wind up there as well, Miriam. This can be one of the big factors here in Fort William. It's not, the track can take a certain amount of moisture, but the wind up top can really affect things.
Yeah, it can be tricky. Ooh, she's doing really good. 5 seconds.
5.8 seconds at split 4 for Laïs Bonheur. 8.8 at the third split. So time to play with here for the European Continental Champion Laïs Bonheur. Tucks in, heads down towards the finish arena. 1 jump to go. And it is filling up nicely here at the Nevis Range. Laïs Bonheur crosses the line then and goes fastest by 8.4 seconds ahead of Gail Cushman.
Good job.
That run might stand up for some time, you know.
She's had a good winter training at home.
Next up, and you're going to have to trust me here, Sasha Mills from Scott Downhill Factory. Not that you can see anyone in the Star Hut at the minute here in Fort William. The Scott Downhill Factory team really expanding this off-season. We've got a few new riders in. Sasha Mills, the Australian. Oh, she's gone back and forth on the splits, and she's 2.6 now. Just cases that slightly.
Casing those jumps cost a lot in Fort William, so we'll see on the finish line.
Yeah, and by casing we just mean just tags the back wheel, doesn't get the whole bike onto the back slope, and just slow your momentum down. And as Miriam says, absolutely every kilometre an hour precious here in Fort William as she heads for the line. Sasha Mills then goes fastest with a 5:19.278, 1.7 seconds ahead of Bonheur.
That's really good.
Miriam's nodding her approval here in the booth.
I mean, like, yeah.
We head back to the top then. Matilda Melton, Transition Factory Racing. She won at Windrock Bike Park earlier this year on the domestic calendar, so
Let's see if she can do it on the big stage in Fort William.
When you're out from this wood, you're like, okay, now this is done, ticked, and now I just have to pedal. Whoa.
Miriam, 8.5 seconds at the second split for Melton. So Transition Factory Racing, a team that really fosters young female talent in downhill. They look like they found another star here in the making. Matilda Melton is on a run.
She's going to make the ripple gap. Yes, she is. Big
There
pull.
is the first rider over the second. Big gap then, that new gap. 11.1. Milton is having an absolute tear here.
She's going to make a really good time. Whoa, what a wave. You've seen this? Crazy.
49 kilometers an hour. Massive whips on the motorway. 11. She's held 11.1 as well. So this is looking like an extremely good run from Matilda Melton.
Fast and steady.
You can see the big green boards there telling the crowd down the finish area that she is up and they need to start making some noise. And noise they make as Matilda Melton heads to the finish line. Matilda Melton goes into the hot seat.
What a
in
run.
Fort William. 12 seconds, Miriam. Faster than the rider who was in there before her. That's how you make an appearance as a junior, isn't it? What a run. That is a marker put down by Melton as we head back to the top one. The breakthrough acts now. Someone we do know, Sasha Ernest for Trek Factory Racing Gravity, newly signed to the Trek full factory team after 2 victories last season.
We're also going to have a good steers competition because this morning I saw her in practice on the table and that was something good to watch.
Yep, new team. She had that amazing ride in Val di Sole, Trentino, and backed it up in Ludenviel in some really challenging conditions.
Taking all the way inside to carry some more speed into this big ripper gap. She lost a lot of speed here. It's going to be tricky for this gap. She's going to have to pull a lot. Oh, she made it.
Massive commitment from Sasha Ernest there. And 6.5 seconds up at the third split. Was looking down at the bike a lot, though, Miriam. I wonder if she's lost gears or... Can't see anything.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky. There is a bit of stump everywhere there.
Really, really tough to see. Trek Factory Racing, they do have a new prototype bike in the pits. But I don't think I think this is the older spec Remedy. Sasha Ernest over the jumps now. 7 seconds, so she has extended despite those problems. She is on track here to beat that incredible time of Matilda Melton.
She's going for it, sprinting hard.
I think she might be stuck in a gear, you know. It doesn't seem like she can get that Trek moving any faster despite how hard she pedals, but it won't matter. Sasha Ernest in third here last year at the UCI World Championships, goes fastest with a 6.9 second deficit to Melton. So let's just see if she has a look down anymore, but she won't mind now. Into the hot seat for Ernest, but she knows that there are some fast movers inbound behind her. Congratulated there by Bonor.
New Zealand girls.
Yeah.
It. I was in New Zealand this winter and I was really impressed with their level. Stepping up.
Yeah. Gold, silver and bronze here at the UCI World Championships in this category last season to the New Zealand team. Andrew Chandro there. Himself a legend of the sport. Just debriefing with Sasha Ernest. There is the hot seat. I'm always amazed, Miriam, that it takes riders a long time to get onto the hot seat. If that was me, I'd be straight up there. You wouldn't see me for smoke.
And here is Eliana.
Yeah. Hulsebosch then, Eliana. A lot of talk about this woman's talent levels in the pits here in Fort William. She's won the last 7 races she entered.
Yeah, she was in New Zealand. She's from there, and her commitment is really high. She's doing such a good job, so professional, ready. She's strong, fast.
Nice line through there. We see it, Miriam, don't we? I mean, France, case in point. Whenever you have a fast generation of riders, it means that anyone who wants to beat them at the races, they then have to bring their level up. And before you know it, there's quite a sort of movement and a very competitive very competitive country. Hulsebosch on the Union, forged by Steel City Media Squad. They swapped from Santa Cruz to Trek bikes this off-season. Whoa, Hulsebosch makes short work of that gap. Another fast Kiwi on the UCI Downhill World Cup circuit.
She's really strong, coming into the wood, taking the outside, and then this rut is really important to carry the speed, and she did it really good.
Yeah, nailing it at the minute, Hulsebosch.
She's going to make some time because she's doing super good right now.
She's 6/10 down at the second split, so some work to be done, but everything we've seen from this young woman in pre-season would suggest that she's well capable of doing it. We have a race in our hands now. It's currently Sasha Ernest in the hot seat.
Gonna see if she takes inside or outside before this first grouper gap. All the way inside. Oh. Seems to be a bit slippery there.
Yeah, maybe just a bit of moisture maybe underneath the trees, and Hulsebosch nails that big gap, sets the Trek down hard. So she's gone backwards actually. She's lost another 4/10, Miriam.
Junior first year, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, she's pushing it. So there are the top speed markers. 49 for Melton. That was an absolutely superb run.
What a whip. Perfect landing.
Oh. Big jobs not phasing Eliana Hulsebosch at all.
Her motorway is just perfect right now. Sprinting hard.
Let's find out if that has made the difference then. Being clinical up there, is it going to be enough? Eliana Hulsebosch then heads towards the finish line in Fort William, crosses the line, goes second behind her compatriot Sasha Ernest. By look at that split, absolutely nothing. 100th of a second, Miriam.
Super tight, but she can be really proud. First World Cup.
Yeah, that's it out of the way now. That's it out of the way. It's done. The stressful one is out of the way.
And she lost a bit of time here.
Yeah, you see the back wheel just kicked off with something there.
Too powerful.
Is that what it was? Just tapped it on too hard.
But look, after such a long track.
Yep, Joe Bowman at the Union will be happy with that performance from his latest big find. What a talent. There he is. Speak of the devil. It's a tough one, the Union. You know, you bring these young talents through and they find big squads and off they go, but this is another big talent now from the UK. Heather Wilson, 2 to go here in Fort William.
I met her when she was like so much smaller, and now she's smashing it, so that's so good to watch. I was happy to see her in quali yesterday, spinning it through the woods. You can tell she's from the UK. Right, she's not scared.
Not scared of roots whatsoever, Heather Wilson. That looks like it's improving up there to me, Miriam, as well, given that at the start of this race we couldn't really see poor Amelia Dudek for the cloud, so hopefully visibility is clear in here on Annickmore. Heather Wilson's first UCI World Cup. Now, we said that Amelia Hulsebosch had won her last 7 races. This young woman's won her last 6. So.
Oh, winner, winner.
Winner, winner, yeah. It's just, whoa. Both in the junior women and junior men's field, it's just absolutely stacked with new talent. Commentator's nightmare, really.
She's going to go high or low.
Heads down to the rider's right, then cuts back over to the left. So half a second faster for Heather Wilson at her home race.
The shortest line. Oh, she keeps some good speed here.
There's a big rock just at the top of that came out. So Sasha Ernest leads the way ahead of her compatriot Eliana Hulsebosch, but it's Matilda Melton in third at the minute. Heller Wilson is currently on track to beat all of them. Let's see what the third split says now.
Good work, so it should be good, should be green. We'll see in the second.
Heads over the hooper.
Yeah.
Round the wall ride. 1.7 seconds faster for Heller Wilson now.
What a pull.
What a new story that would be. If Heller Wilson can win her debut UCI World Cup at her home round in Fort William.
Giving everything she had. But we saw that the motorway is really important.
Can she nail every single one of these jumps neatly and tidily? Heller Wilson stands on the bike, stands on the pedals, throws in a bit of style. She's 2.1 seconds ahead now at the fourth split.
That's impressive. Look how strong she is.
Heller Wilson is about to get the biggest roar of the day so far here in Fort William. Noses the big Mondraker down into the finish area. Heller Wilson, one jump to go. Heads towards the line in Fort William. Heller Wilson crosses the finish and takes the hot seat by 3.5 seconds in front of her home crowd with only one rider left at the top.
What a run. She can be really proud. Well,
that is a dream start, Miriam, isn't it? Absolutely dream start. Talk us through these replays then. She never looked in trouble, did she?
Taking the short line and carrying some speed out of these right routes. Such an important thing.
Yeah, worked well for Heller Wilson. You can see how far ahead her eyes are looking the whole time.
Hungry for some.
Yeah.
More.
Constantly looking to where she's going and where she needs to set up for. Muck-Off Young Guns team, another team that have brought some big talents through.
Yeah, that's so good what they're doing.
And they've got a British rider on the hot seat in Fort William. And there is one to go at the top. Heller Wilson from Sasha Ernest from Eliana Husselbosch. But, and it's quite a bop, the next one is one of the very, very best. And she's done some winning here very recently. Iris van Leuven for Commensal Les Ors leaves the start hut. The last rider at the top of this Junior Women's Downhill World Cup. And it is the UCI World Champion. Looking like she's just headed out into a load of cloud again, Miriam. So the cloud's moving around the top of Annick Moore here.
It's been like this since this morning, so... Oh. Is she having a flat or something?
I think that's a flat for Iris van Leuven, so that could mean Heller Wilson is in for a drop of champagne.
She's carrying some speed.
2.4 seconds up at the first split. But it looks like a rear flat to me. And you can hear how upset Iris van Leuven is.
Yeah, she must be so upset.
And this is a horrible feeling, Miriam. This is quite the opposite.
Yeah, but look at that. She's still
She's still 2.8 seconds up.
No way.
Excuse me, I was busy writing Iris van Leuven's chances of winning this bike race off at the second split. She's 2.8 seconds faster than those who've gone before her.
She's killing it.
The third one is going to be crucial. Oh.
Look at that.
Iris van Leuven, it's hard to keep it rubber side down with air in your tyres there, but this is where the time may start to slip away from her. She's kept swinging at it.
That's Iris, you know, like she's going for it, and whatever happens, she's still pushing. That's such an inspiration.
She's such a fighter. Let's get her through the next split, though. Whoa.
She got skills.
And she's still 6/10 in the green.
No way.
She hasn't dropped her head. We heard her roaring with anguish, to be honest, at the start of this, but she's still in the green. But this is where now the time will start to drip away.
She must be exhausted, and she's still pushing like...
What a performance from Iris van Leuven.
Cécile, that moment must be crazy.
40 kilometers an hour with no air in the rear tire.
Well, it was still a really amazing run.
She kept fighting, didn't she? So, yeah, there you go. There's confirmation of it.
And she's still pushing to the finish line.
Definitely, Iris van Leuven remains one of the danger women in this field, the UCI Downhill World Champion. And you saw from those first 3 splits just how much fight she has to give.
So she must have had a puncture quite high.
Must be fairly high up, yeah. So Iris van Leuven then crosses the line in 5th, manages to get a 5th place with pretty much a puncture from the very top.
Insane.
What a ride from the young Kiwi. It won't be what she wanted. But I think if you've ever ridden a downhill bike, you'll know how impressive a ride that is from Iris van Leuven.
I'm shocked. That was like crazy. Oh,
look at the face.
Awesome woman.
Right, here we go then. Here are the results. Heather Wilson takes a debut victory at her home round ahead of Sasha Ernest, Eliana Husselbosch, Matilda Melton, and Iris van Leuven in 5th place. What a run from the Kiwi. Sasha Mills, Enzelaise Bonor, Kiel Cushman, Nelly Abeck, and Amelia Dudek are your top 10. But the noise has just gone up a few clicks out there. As the crowd get their good look at Heather Wilson. Let's hear from her now.
Heather, congratulations. Your debut on the World Cup series. Sum up how you're feeling.
Oh, it doesn't feel real. Like, I know everyone says when they win or that, it's just not kicked in yet, and I think that's absolutely true. I don't feel like I've won, and I'm just so glad that it's done, and I've crossed the line in one piece, and I'm just so happy, and I just have like no words to describe how I feel right now.
What were the conditions like up there today?
It was actually kind of like perfect, because it still had some grip, the track. Wasn't too slippy. Some of the corners were blown out, so I just took my time and was like, okay, just push into them. I need to trust these corners, and it worked out perfectly.
Congratulations, top of the podium. What a result. Well done.
I know, thank you so much.
Well, Fort Williams crowd is used to winning crowd of the year, and if they want to do so again, having won their own, Scotland's Heather Wilson on the top step of the first race should lift spirits, should they have needed lifting in the first place out there. Sasha Ernest second in the standings now. They mirror, of course, those results. Eliana Husselbosch third, and then it's Melton, Van Leuven, Mills, Bonor. What a performance from Iris van Leuven, though. What a performance from Heather Wilson. Here are the junior men's start list then. Mascarini will get us off to a start for Rogue Racing. Then it's Marino, De La Salle, Tomlinson, George Madley. What can he do today? Another big British hopeful. Dane Jewett, Ryder Lawrence in there. Then look at this for a top 3. Vermette, Allren and Parfit. All making their UCI World Cup debuts.